وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والحمد لله رب العالمين، وأفضل الصلاة والتحيات على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد. Brothers and sisters, those of you who are live with us here in person as well as those joining online, I greet you with peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We welcome you warmly to the second night of Mainstays Majlis al-Hujjah program as we commemorate the tragedy of Ashura. We will begin tonight's program. Let's illuminate our hearts and bless this gathering with a recitation of the Holy Quran by Brother Sayyid Ahmad al-Musawi. Please help me welcome him to the podium. بعد الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والفجر وليال عشر والشفع والوتر والليل إذا يسر هل في ذلك قسم لذي حجر ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد إرم ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والفجر وليال عشر والشفع والوتر والليل إذا يسر هل في ذلك قسم لذي حجر ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد إرم ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر بالواد وفرعون ذي الأوتاد الذين طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد فصب عليهم ربك سوط عذاب إن ربك لبالمرصاد فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانني كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي صدق الله العلي العظيم. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة قبل الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
Thank you, brother Sayyidina Ahmad, for that beautiful recitation. Let's give him another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Tonight we are remembering Imam Hussein's departure from Medina. The holy city of Medina was Imam Hussein's home. It was a city born from love of God and its willingness to give everything for that love. At its heart rested Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Through the Prophet, Medina lived in liberty and in equity. Islam's moral compass was sewn into the fabric of the town. Although Medina too did see much tragedy. Leaving his home in Medina was a part of Imam Hussein's continuing sacrifice for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tonight, my brothers and sisters, at this Majlis al-Hujjah program, let us ask ourselves, and I ask myself first, how much are we willing to give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And what is one thing we're willing to leave or give up for him? In addition to the program tonight, the Mainstay Foundation also has 5 other programs going on at 2 different venues this year, all commemorating the tragedy of Imam Hussein. But that's only a small part of what this wonderful organization does. To learn and keep up with what is happening at the foundation, visit the website mainstay.us or follow them on Instagram at mainstayus. All of you here in attendance tonight, and those of you who are, mashallah, joining online, I believe yesterday we had over 300 viewers online. All of you are an important part of what this organization is. This is a living organization, and without you, this organization would be nothing. Through your nightly attendance and your attention and your efforts and your donations, that's what makes all of these programs a tremendous success. But if you want to contribute more and you'd like to give back in more ways, you can become a part of the amazing team of volunteers. If you'd like to volunteer, you could visit mainstay.us/volunteer, or you could speak with Hajj Hala Hazimi directly, who's outside. And certainly, all of these programs wouldn't be possible without the support of the generous donors that keep organizations like the Mainstay going. The Mainstay, as we said, is holding 6 programs at 2 different venues. The estimated cost for these programs, in a total for 10 nights, 6 programs, is about $100,000. A $1,000 nightly sponsorship could help cover the cost of a night of a program for one of these programs, one of these nights. So if you'd like to sponsor a program, maybe you just like to give some charity, or you'd like to give on behalf of a relative, a deceased member that you love, in honor of them, please see one of the volunteers outside at the merchandise table. And if you're online, you could also donate at mainstay.us/donate. Let's recite Surah Al-Fatiha for everyone who helped make tonight's program possible, and for the souls of all your loved ones as well. Tonight we are blessed to once again have Sayyid Haidar Bahrelelom with us for the Majlis Al-Hujjah. Sayyid Haidar is a strategist at a Washington, D.C. based research and advisory firm. He serves as an advisor to the Mainstay Foundation, helping the foundation with key projects. Sayyid Bahrelelom is a member of a prominent scholarly family from the holy city of Najaf, and from a young age he engaged in seminary studies and continued to study through correspondence with scholars in the city of Najaf. He's been lecturing on issues of theology, history, and ethics for well over 2 decades. Please help me welcome Samahat al-Sayyid Haidar Bahrelelom to the podium with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
صلى الله عليك سيدي ومولاي يا رسول الله وعلى آل بيتك المظلومين المعصومين. السلام عليك سيدي ومولاي، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك سيدتي ومولاتي يا زهراء، السلام على أبي محمد الحسن، صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، السلام على الحسين، المظلوم المقتول المجروح العطشان المذبوح من القفا بيوم عاشوراء. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. Stranger in the land of Karbala, martyr in the land of Karbala, oppressed in the land of Karbala, beloved Hussein, Gharib. Dear brothers and sisters, imagine on the 10th day of Muharram in the land of Karbala. Imagine everything fades away except for two, a brother and a sister. Imagine these two individuals, Lady Zainab with her brother Hussein, seeing him on the land of Karbala all alone, calling anyone to help, anyone to assist. هل من ناصر ينصرنا هل من معين يعيننا. The heart of Lady Zainab calling, غريب أخي حسين, brother Hussein, a stranger in the land of Karbala. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. والصلاة والسلام على حبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Dear respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah Almighty says in the Holy Quran in Surah Al-Hashr, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات. Dear brothers and sisters, I would like to thank all of you for being here with us tonight. I would like to extend my gratitude to everyone that is working so hard to make this possible, to allow us to serve, allow me to stand here, allow you to sit, to come together. I would like to truly thank especially an inspirational and touching recitation by a friend that I came to know, Sayyid Ahmed al-Musawi, for a beautiful recitation of the Holy Quran tonight. It was truly, it touches the heart. And you know, this is why we're doing this. The bottom line is about this, the word of Allah Azza wa Jal. And for this word to touch the heart. And the word touches the heart as we recite it, as we listen to it, as we try to comprehend it. But it takes the medium, the means for it to be received. So I appreciate everyone working together to build this community. We're not perfect. We're far from perfect. But the beauty about us, about this community, the hope that we have and the hope that we build, bringing to light the verse that I just recited. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe, ittaqullah, have this piety. وَلْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ. This is important. This is where I want to start with. A person, a self shall look into what it has prepared for tomorrow. This is today. The now, today is the now. Allah says, look into tomorrow. Al-ghad is what is to come. This timeline that we live. From beginning of time until the end of time. We're in 2022 in the Gregorian calendar, 1444 in the lunar calendar. Each and every one of us lives and dies and has a limited scope, an age limit. You're born into this life and you die. There's a window into this timeline. You have a window, you have a window, I have a window. It's a sliding, moving window. It happens that at this moment, today, in this instant, you and I collectively, all of us, are sharing the same window. We're seeing together a reality, together, we're viewing it and we're living it together. Now, we're seeing different angles of the same thing, the same picture. As we are seeing this angle, each of you interprets this angle differently. This moment in time, we're processing it differently. But we're trying as much as possible using language to communicate certain ideas, certain thoughts, build certain principles, so collectively we have an understanding. Now, humans, as they develop through life, they try to understand certain principles. These principles help them develop and grow. The more you're exposed to different ideas and principles, the more you'll be able to interpret and expand your horizon, and therefore be intellectually sound to interpret events and what happens in life. In life, in this timeline, you have your past, things that happened to you in the past. But you have the now, the present, things that are happening with you, to you, and you're active in the moment. And you have the future. What may happen, what will happen. So, between the 1800s and 1900s, the field of psychology focused on human problems. There were so many theories, so many ideas about how to solve people's problems. Now, there was an idea and a principle called determinism. It was the belief that human beings are the direct byproduct of their past. Meaning, I am today who I am. My whole being is based on all my past and what I have been through, what I have gone through. It's like a domino effect. It started, and I am the end of the domino effect. Which meant that these dominoes in the past, these events in the past, dictate what will happen to you in the future. Therefore, in other words, there is no real freedom. Now, your life, therefore, becomes a product of your past, taking and sucking the life out of freedom and choice. So, that was the past. But many scientists, thinkers, intellectuals, and especially in the field of psychology, they started looking into and researching to understand the human behavior better. I believe they're called the positive psychologists that try to look and re-evaluate and rethink human beings, their problems, and trying to understand their actions and what can happen. The research resulted in the following. It showed that a person's past does not drive or dictate their actions or behaviors. There's something interesting that they found. That we are pulled forward by our future. We are pulled forward by our future. We are not dictated by our past, but pulled forward by our future. Now, looking into this, when you reflect on it, it means how you think and what shapes your mind into the looking of the future has a direct impact how you shape your life. Now, this also tells me that I get to see my options. I look at different options I have. One of the most powerful things they found in human beings and the intellectual aspect and the ability to think that I can see what options I have in the future. I may do this, I may do that. Furthermore, I get to decide on which of these options I want to dictate and dedicate my life to achieve it. So we think about these options, and the decisions that entail and eventually make will direct me to get to it. Now, in the Holy Quran, this act of looking at these options, there's a term to it, they call it prospection. Our ability to think about our future options and make decision on which directions to go. This is very powerful. Quranically, it tells me that I am hostage to what I do. كل نفس بما كسبت رهينة. Whatever I do, I'm held hostage to these actions. But at the same time, he tells me, Allah, لا يغير الله ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. That one, Allah will not change your state until you change your own. So at one point, in one part of the Quran, it says that you're held hostage to what you do, but also change has to start from within. In a third place in the Quran says, وَلْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدْ. Each and every person should look into what it has prepared for tomorrow. Quranically, the importance of infusing the past, the present, to produce the future, and the future is a result of your own planning. You have that control. Allah Azza wa Jal does not take it away from you. Now, in this perspection, it is based on what's called the teleological view of the world, which means that all human actions and behaviors are driven by goals, whether they're short goals or long goals. Which means that each and every action that we have has a purpose. This is important. When I look at my actions, I need to ask, what is the reason and the goal of this activity? That's the first question, the what. What benefit am I getting from this? And where is it taking me? Which allows me to think on three levels when looking at any action. The what is it I'm doing? The how is it I'm doing? But the most important is what? The why. Why am I doing it? Because it's purpose-driven. Now, the what explains what happened. What just happened? The how explains how the behavior happened. The why explains why that behavior happened. Dear brothers and sisters, and this is what I want you to pay attention to. Knowing the why is by far the deepest and most powerful form of knowledge. To know, why did I carry this act? Why am I doing what I'm doing? It has such an impact on me. The more conscious and clear you are about choosing your purpose and goal, and the how begins, the more you know the why you're doing it, the how begins to take shape. And then it'll take care of itself. Without this conscious purpose, the how becomes conflicted and chaotic. Without a clarity why you're doing what you're doing, the how, dear brothers and sisters, becomes so conflicted. So, my question to you, as we are taking this journey to understand in these 10 nights, honest to God, it's a journey we're taking together, and we know what happened in Karbala and the entire journey of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. We're going to discuss it more and more and talk about it in the rest of the nights. But what's more important is understanding. When we talk about Karbala, we understand the what, the Battle of Karbala. In understanding Karbala, we understand the how the massacre took place. But you know, the most important thing is the why. Why would Al-Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam be massacred, killed, murdered in the land of Karbala on the 10th day of Muharram? The why. But at the same time, his why and my why. We understand the reasons of Imam Hussein alayhi salam's murder and his reason why he sacrificed himself. My question is, do I know the why that I have for commemorating him? And the why to believe in him? I don't believe only in the person of Hussein salamullahi ta'ala alayhi. I believe in the principle of Hussein. And the principle of Hussein is manifested through the principle of imama, which is translated in this window of time, this timeline that we talked about, at each and every point in our lives through an imam of the time. Let me repeat this. The principle of the imamah manifested itself through Imam Hussein alayhi salam 1400 years ago. This timeline that we're living, we're at 1444 after Hijrah. Today, we look through the sliding window, our window. Do we see the principle of imamah or not? Do you see the principle of imamah or not? 1400 years ago, at the time of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in the land of Karbala, on the 10th day of Muharram, there was a community through which that windows they were seeing collectively, they saw Hussein alayhi salam. They saw a massacre in Karbala, specifically on the 10th day of Muharram. That sliding window moved about 1400 years later. Today, the now. Do you still see the principle of imamah? How do you see it? 1400 years ago, they saw Imam Hussein. Today, dear brothers and sisters, we ought to see who? Al-Imam al-Hujjah, the 12th holy Imam. That sliding window, 1400 years, moving swiftly, the principles are still holding. What we see is what? The question is, when I talk about, you and I commemorate and shed our tears and cry for Imam Hussein, a window 1400 years ago. But when we slide it to now, remember the past. When we slide the past and bring it to now, the present, do we still see what we are crying for? But in the form of an Imam al-Hujjah, do we see the principle? Do we see the idea manifested in a person? If we don't understand that there's a problem in how we are crying on the principle, we need to tie in why Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam did not sacrifice himself at the moment, at the first day of Muharram, the year that Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam was sacrificed. In his now, that moment, do you think when he left Karbala, when he left Medina, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, did he know where he was going? Was he driven? Listen to this. Ask yourself, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, when he left the city of Medina, did he know why he was leaving? Did he know where he was going? Was his leaving Medina with a purpose or without a purpose? Was he the type of person who saw his future? Dear brothers and sisters, it is very important to understand and truly come to this understanding with clarity. Part of our faith, a strong, important part of our faith, is the ability that the future we see for ourselves. Let me take a moment here. Part of our faith, and it's so powerful, it's so amazing, mind-blowing. The emphasis on the following principle. The future we see for ourselves. You may be planning, most people, and I'll talk about this a little bit more tomorrow, most people plan short term. Maybe some of you are fidgeting, he's taking some time on, what do? You get distracted. Your short-term goal is you pull and you go through your social media and you calm down. That was a short-term objective. What did you do? Open social media. What did you do? You got distracted. How? Social media. Why? I have no idea. You know best. The why is because the way we are being trained, the way we're allowing ourselves to be trained. But some of us think in terms of seconds. This is our future. What's the next 10 seconds I'm going to do? 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 50 seconds. Some in terms of minutes, some in terms of hours, some in terms of days. What's my next week going to look like? And I want to plan it. See, there's a planning of next week. Let me run you with through this experiment. I want you to imagine next week. Just imagine next week. How long were you able to commit an image of next week, and how detailed was that image? Came to the forefront and then faded away. Are you able to fill details for next week? Okay, next week, Monday, what do I have? What's scheduled? I have an appointment at 4 p.m., 2 p.m. I have a meeting at 6 a.m. I have a meeting at 7 a.m. Then Tuesday, I have a meeting. I have all these meetings. And then, hold on, you know what? I want to plan further. What am I going to say in this meeting? What is it talking about? Then I look at the meeting, the details of the meeting. What am I trying to accomplish? The big picture. It's about doing this kind of relationship. It's about making a decision. It's about my where do I take the corporation? What do I do with my team? See, I'm planning. I'm talking. Then you know what? Then next week, what do I do? The more I have detailed plans of my future, I see myself in that future, the more I can shape and control it. Most of us just live. But the Imam Salamullahi Ta'ala alayhi, when he left Medina, he was not just going along. The Imam Salamullahi Ta'ala alayhi, and Imam al-Hussein, he knew what will happen. He knew the end, how it looks. The plan in our faith, the way we're taught to see ourselves in the future, not in the coming 10 minutes, not in the coming 10 hours, not in the coming 10 days, not even 10 months, not even 10 years, but we are encouraged. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد. Look into what you're preparing for tomorrow. See yourself. Not only this world. We are asked, encouraged, we are pushed to see ourselves in the hereafter. Where do we land? Jannatun am nar. Heaven or hell. We are asked and encouraged to manifest the thought of the future by driving our minds to the details. When you look at the description the Holy Quran talks about, when he describes the details of hell, the details of heaven, why? To train our mind to see our future selves. If you can see your future self in eternity, I assure you, you'll be a great planner and executor for this life. That is powerful thinking. and look at how we are taught by Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. In Dua al-Ahd, I know my dear brother Jalal has been reciting every single night. Allahumma arini al-tal'ata al-rashida wal-ghurrata al-hamida واكحل ناظري بنظرة مني إلي. Look how powerful. Oh Allah, 1188, our Imam, 1,188 years old. He's alive today. But God, through Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, He's teaching us, they're teaching us what? Don't stand still in time and say, I want to see him now. No. Look at the future. Oh Allah, grace me with the sight of that discerning glance and that bright and admirable vision, and brighten my eyes with His sight. وَعَجِّلْ فَرَجَهُ. Now that's a different thing. He's not only training us to look forward for His appearance, He's also teaching us to try to ask for that timeline to be shorter. Because I want to move so fast, I want to push forward, I want to hold on to that moment. I have a demarcation, that moment, I'm looking for it. I defined it, I want to go after it. Defined moment, I am encouraged, me as an individual, to understand it, to see it, to live it. Furthermore, the Imam alayhi salam, when we look at Dua al-Ahd, we learn what? That's the power of Dua al-Ahd. We learn how we should be living the moments like the companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. The moments Imam Hussein's companions, they were with him, they were looking at a future. How they will be sacrificed and give that sacrifice. I am taught, you are taught, look at that sliding window. Today, 1,188 years old is the age of our Imam. How much of that sliding window of my life? Assume I live 70, 80 years. Or maybe I die tomorrow. Who knows? Give yourself a window of 80 years. 1188. You just shared 80 years of your life in that window with your Imam. How much have you seen of him? And it's not about the sight of the eyes. It's the sight of the heart, understanding and connected to him. Dear brothers and sisters, it is these moments, it is these nights, when we look at the Imam Salamullahi Ta'ala alayh, Al-Imam Al-Hussein, when he was leaving Medina, knowing the direction, knowing what's going to happen. Al-Imam Al-Hussein Salamullahi Ta'ala alayh. Dear brothers and sisters, knowing where and what will happen in the land of Karbala, Imam Hussein alayhi salam was about to leave the city of Medina. He went to see the grave of his grandfather, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. He sat right by the grave. He talked to his grandfather. Dear Lord, this is the grave of your beloved Prophet Muhammad, and I am the son of his daughter, the Lady Fatima. What has befallen us is well known to you. Dear Lord, I love what is good and abhor what is evil. You are the one with all glory and greatness. I pray by the right of the one who is buried in this blessed grave, I ask you that you lead me to what I shall do and what pleases you. They say, dear brothers and sisters, Al-Imam al-Hussein, as he was talking to Allah Azza wa Jal right by the grave of the Holy Prophet, right there and then, he fell right on the grave of the Holy Prophet. They say, Al-Imam al-Hussein, so tired. Al-Imam al-Hussein closed his eyes. Al-Imam al-Hussein, in his sleep, he saw his grandfather Muhammad. ضمني عندك يا جدا في هذا الضريح علني يا جد من بلوى زماني أستريح ضاق بي يا جد من فرط الأسى كل فسيح. Dear brothers and sisters, they say Imam Hussein alayhi salam saw Prophet Muhammad. He looked at him, he said, grandfather Muhammad. He said, Prophet Muhammad called him, son Hussein, I see you coming towards me, oh son Hussein. Dear brothers and sisters, when Imam Hussein opened his eyes, he realized that he's going on the journey to Karbala. This is the journey of sacrifice. This is the journey where he's taking the woman and the children with him. When people asked him, Hussein, why do you take the woman and the children with you? He said, Allah Azza wa Jal decreed to see them prisoners of war. Dear brothers and sisters, let us fast forward to Karbala and the 10th day of Muharram. After Imam Hussein alayhi salam was massacred in the battlefield of Karbala, in the land of Karbala, it was no other than Lady Zainab alayhi salam who was gathering, going after and making sure to gather all the women and the children after the enemies of Allah raided the camp of Imam Hussein. Dear brothers and sisters, as they waged the battle and after Imam Hussein alayhi salam was massacred in the battlefield of Karbala, the enemies of Allah lit the fire in the camp, in the tents of Imam Hussein. You see the young children all running in the desert, the mothers, the widows, all of them calling Hussein, Hussein. So anyone would answer their call, but their husbands were massacred. Imam al-Hussein was killed, and it was Lady Zainab alayhi salam standing in the battlefield, standing in the fields of Karbala, working and going after the young children, gathering them, calming the woman, and in her mind she is looking towards her father Ali. Abaya Ali, Father Ali, where are you to see what happened to us? Abaya Ali, Why don't you come and see what is happening to your daughter Zainab? يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. We ask Allah Almighty to answer all our prayers. We ask Allah Almighty to fulfill all our requests. And we ask Him to forgive our sins. بحق محمد وآل محمد. And let us offer the blessings of this recitation to the lives of all those deceased, beloved ones, after الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.